I'd like to call the Monday, January 18th Common Council meeting to order. It is 6 p.m. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Galloway.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Clerk Treasurer Parthune.
Councilwoman Cutler.
Present.
Councilwoman West.
Present.
Councilwoman Konechny.
Present.
Councilman Frankie.
Present.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Present.
Councilman Vincent.
Here.
Councilman Galloway.
Here.
All present. And just as a reminder tonight, since we're via Zoom, all the votes that we do will have to be done by roll call. Thanks.
Petitions and comments from the citizens. I have seen Blake Boardman, so I know Blake wanted to speak. For the record, please state your name and address.
Hi, my name is Blake Boardman, and I reside at 1311 Jefferson Ave in LaPorte City.
Hi, my name's Oscar Forsey.
1311 Jefferson Ave.
And I live in 1311 Jefferson Ave.
Welcome, and Blake, we have you have 3 minutes to speak. It will not be a question and answer, and no personal attacks. So, with that, go ahead, Blake.
All right. So as most of you are aware, Mayor Dermody's term in office has focused on cleaning up LaPorte. As a community, we are doing all we can to eradicate substance addiction in our city. Unfortunately, there's a business in LaPorte that is actively working against efforts to clean up our city, and this business is located just blocks away from LaPorte High School. This business regularly sells nicotine products such as vapes to our high schoolers. They do not ask for identification or proof of age at the time of purchase. It is well known amongst our young people that they can easily obtain nicotine and vape supplies from this establishment. Our high school is overrun with teens vaping in the bathrooms every single day. Myself and others have contacted the local District 1 Excise Police to take care of this matter. It has been months since reports have been filed. The most recent report was filed under 2 weeks ago by myself. Unfortunately, it seems nothing has been done, as this establishment is still in the business of selling to our high schoolers. We can't truly combat addiction in this city if our teens are becoming addicted to nicotine at the age of 14 or even younger. Vaping nicotine is even an issue at the Kessling campus. Now, I'm aware that this is not an investigative body, but I ask Mayor Dermody, our chief of police, and our city council people to work together to help end the predatory practices of Neighbor's Corner Smoke Shop, located at 111 to 113 Day Street here in LaPorte. If there is another more appropriate city government board or body that I should bring this to, please let me know. A local high schooler would now like to speak on behalf of our teenage community. Thank you.
Hi, I'm a freshman at the LaPorte High School, and I know that everything Blake is saying is true because I am one of the teenagers that they've sold vape products to. I've been going to Neighbor's Corner since September, and I've gone every single time I've gone. They've never once asked for my age or ID. Many students at my school go to Neighbor's Corner to buy vapes or carts or anything they need, and I've gone because they know like that's the place to go if you want like something that you can't have. At the high school, students use trade, share, and they sell vapes in the bathrooms every single day. It's just everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's a vape. And I ask that you please put an end to them selling. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, and welcome to, we love to see young people, future leaders in our community at our meetings, and we appreciate that. Are there any questions for Mr. Boardman or his daughter? Blake, I would ask you to reach out to Bill Denegard, our assistant chief, tomorrow. Call him at the police department and share your same concerns, and I'll let him know you'll be calling.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for you guys' support.
Thank you.
And
Thanks,
thank you.
guys.
Anybody else, public comment that would like to speak? Hearing none, we will move to standing committee reports, and we will begin with Mr. Councilman Galloway.
The Police Merit Commission met on the 11th, and they're working on a SWAT team, they hope. And they have 3 passed to hire, and 1 they were going to interview on the 12th. That's it.
Councilwoman Ficus.
The only thing that I have to report is that Park Board will be meeting tomorrow, so far in person, 4 p.m. at the Park office, excuse me.
Councilman Frankie.
The school board met yesterday at the Educational Services Center. It was a lot of beginning of the year tidying up type of stuff. There was a split vote between Sherry At-Large and Shannon Hannon for president. So they will have the tying vote when Mrs. Riberty is there at the next meeting. Vice president this year will be Jim Arnold. The secretary is Marie Gilland, and the treasurer is Jane Grillo. The corporate investment officer is also Jane Grillo. Deputy treasurer is Natasha Henry. And other than that, it was going over finances from 21. Nothing too exciting. The Redevelopment Commission meets next Wednesday, the 26th, 5:15 in council chambers, provided COVID allows. And the Diversity and Inclusion Committee meets the following Thursday, 5 p.m. in council chambers. That's all.
Councilwoman Knesny.
Nothing to report at this time, Mayor.
Councilwoman Cutler. You might be on mute, or
Oh, I'm not on mute. Can you hear me? Okay, back at you. All right.
yes.
Nothing to report. That's not me. That dog is not me.
That's mine, sorry.
All right.
Councilman Vincent.
Nothing to report.
Councilwoman West.
Yes, Chief Andy Snyder presented the President Gary Travis with a plaque for his 22 years of service on the Fire Merit Commission Board. They elected new officers with Miles Fettinger as president, Josh Hewlett as vice president, and Allison Zoll as secretary. The performance ratings are now complete. The promotional list was approved through January 31st of 2024. There was some discussion of the hiring list for the year of 2022, and the release date for the opening of applications for the fire department will begin on February 9th. And that's it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Cutler, second and final reading.
Your Honor, I move to introduce an ordinance for a second reading by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, I'm sorry. Clerk Treasurer Parthun. Roll call, please.
Okay, Councilman Cutler,
Aye.
Councilwoman West,
Aye.
Councilwoman Knesny,
Aye.
Councilman Frankie,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ficus,
Aye.
Councilman Vincent,
Aye.
Councilman Galloway.
Aye.
Thank you.
7-0, Councilwoman Cutler.
An ordinance amending ordinance 24-2021, fixing salaries of appointed officers and employees of the city of LaPorte, Indiana for the year 2022.
Discussion. Clerk Treasurer Parthun, brief description, please.
The only salary that actually changed on that salary ordinance was the new Director of Community Development and Planning, which also was a part of a transfer that was passed at the last resolution, a resolution that was passed at the last council meeting. So that's really, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer, but that's the only real salary that changed. The rest were titles.
Further discussion.
I move to adopt the ordinance amending ordinance number 24-2021.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye.
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 Aye. Roll call, Clerk Treasurer Parthun.
Councilwoman Cutler,
Aye.
Councilwoman West. Oh, Councilwoman West,
Aye.
sorry. Councilwoman Konechny,
Aye.
Councilman Frankie,
Aye.
Councilwoman Ficus,
Aye.
Councilman Vincent,
Aye.
Councilman Galloway.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passes 7-0. Councilwoman Konechny.
Your Honor, I move to read an ordinance for the second time by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, Clerk Treasurer Parthun.
Councilwoman, yep, Councilman Cutler,
Aye.
Councilwoman West,
Aye.
Councilwoman Konechny,
Aye.
Councilman Frankie,
Aye.
Councilman Ficus,
Aye.
Councilman Vincent,
Aye.
Councilman Galloway.
Aye.
Thank you.
It's a 7-0. Councilwoman Konechny.
An ordinance designating 1403 Indiana Avenue, George Wood Allen House as a single-site historic preservation district within the city of LaPorte.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Your Honor, I do have, I have comment.
Yes, and we'll have a motion and a second first.
Sure.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion, or I guess we need to, do I need to roll call that, Clerk Treasurer, before the discussion?
Yes.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cutler,
For the reading,
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
confused.
sorry.
Is this just for the
I'm
reading of?
This is for the reading, not the final decision. Are we taking conversation first?
We will
Yeah.
be taking discussion. So I guess we can put that motion on hold, Attorney Otis, and open it up for discussion now.
Correct. That's fine if you want to do it that way.
Councilwoman Konechny.
So at the last week's HPC meeting, the newly appointed President Robert Alt had given me a directive to approach the council and express the sentiments of the HPC. They are adamant, and after further review, the application fulfilled the requests of the local designation, and they asked me to reiterate the HPC's support of the local designation of 1403 Indiana Avenue.
Okay, well, I was one of the ones, can I make a comment?
Councilwoman Cutler, yes.
Thank you. At the last meeting, I was opposed to this and I cited reasons, starting with the fourth section down, whereas the described above meet the historic district criteria. I'm not still convinced. I did have 2 weeks to review this and look at past pictures of this site. I'm not convinced that section 54 through 64, reading through each one, I'm not personally convinced that this fulfills the appropriate criteria. I think it's a stretch. For example, containing elements of design, detail, materials, or craftsmanship which represent a significant innovation. I believe no. Again, I feel that it is a shell, and the current historic surface on the front is a faux surface based on a photograph. There's nothing that exists from an original historic design from this particular architect. There are multiple sources within the city of LaPorte that are beautiful examples of this architect's work, and this is not an example of this architect's work at all.
Further council comments?
That was brought up during the HPC meeting, and their point of contention is that while it might not mimic or model that of what it looked like when he lived there, the fact of the matter, it has significant value, his significant historical value due to the fact that he resided there.
My understanding is the state of Indiana.
Councilman Frankie.
Sorry, my understanding is the state of Indiana has already designated this as a historical property. Is that correct?
So my understanding is that there is an easement recorded via Indiana Landmarks. So a nonprofit entity that works in conjunction with the state for the preservation of historic homes. So the easement that's been, if it truly has been recorded, that easement is going to be far more restrictive than what a local designation will impose on future inhabitants.
Further council discussion.
Councilman Frankie?
Councilwoman Keller.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Councilman Frankie, I do believe it is also within the National Historic Neighborhood, the designation. It's actually just one door over from the sign that designates that neighborhood. So it does have national designation, although not local, which is what they're looking for.
So I for one, I think I'm in favor of designating it locally if, you know, it's already nationally and state designated that way. You know, at the prior council meeting, I didn't feel comfortable with the new buyer days away. But now that has passed, you know, knowing that it's, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think that if you, Councilman Frankie, you certainly have a right to your opinion. I think if you have a clear understanding of the difference between a national designation and a local designation, the local designation comes with many more requirements in terms of COAs and what they're able to do, what changes they're able to make. And I just feel that personally, I don't feel comfortable designating this under the current owners who are immediately selling it. I just don't, whether or not the new owner is aware or not, I'm not sure if they are full understanding of these designations and what it entails to be locally designated.
Councilwoman Kinergy.
Attorney Otis, at the last meeting, you said in good conscience you didn't think the city should press forward one way or another without some kind of affidavit or acknowledgement of the prospective buyer's awareness of said designations. Has there been any documentation or any further discourse in regards to the prospective buyer's wherewithal of said designations?
I was so yeah, I think that's a fairly accurate representation, Ms. Kanishi, of what I said. I just didn't want the council to vote on something and then the buyer be surprised by something at closing. You're a realtor. I don't think that a buyer would be very happy if they found that out, you know, at the time of closing or after the fact. So that is something I asked about. I didn't get anything in writing, though I did speak with Mike Liberator, who's I think involved in the sale. He's a realtor, and I'm not sure what side of the transaction he was on.
He's at least the listing agent. I can confirm that.
Yeah, so he had indicated that it was posted in the listing that this was going to be part of the sale. I did not see that though, so I don't know if the buyers are on here tonight or not. So
I am here and I have the buyers.
Mr. Liberator, this is for council only currently.
Yeah.
We will open it up to the public.
Yeah.
Is there any other council comments?
I would like to.
Councilwoman Ficus.
I just wonder why is there a reason that we can't leave it up to the new buyer to decide if they want it to be designated once the purchase goes through? I don't know if there's reasoning behind.
Well,
that's what I thought. Why can't we leave it to the buyer?
That's a good question, Councilwoman Ficus, and maybe Mr. Liberator can answer that when Mayor asks for that input. So I think those are fair questions.
I mean, if there's restrictions to it, I think the buyer should be able to decide whether or not he wants to have it historic or not.
We will we'll now open to public comment. Please keep it to three minutes or less, direct. And if council members would like to question, that'll happen. So, Mr. Liberator, and please state your name and address for the record.
Mike Liberator, 3691 West Bravely Road, LaPorte, Indiana. I have the buyers here with me, and So we're open to any questions. They can respond to you. I don't know why the camera's not working. I apologize. But the buyers can answer and assure you that they have knowledge of everything that, you've been talking about or questioned. So, you're free to talk to them and they're here to answer.
Quick
Mike,
question,
this is-
Buyer. Outside of the,
Excuse me one moment. First of all,
Yeah.
are there any council questions for Mr. Libator? Hearing none, Mr. Kurth, welcome. State your name and address for the record.
Mark Kurth, 969 Forester Road. My question for the council, I can appreciate their interest in looking out for the buyers in this regard, but the people engaged in preservation, the current owners of the property, also have an interest in securing this designation and are the owners of the property and have right to do that. Also, in that regard, the buyer has been made aware of this. This is part of the contract, and the negotiation that was done as part of the buyer's offer was done with the knowledge that there is an easement on the property through Indiana landmarks, and that PEP was pursuing local designation. So the pricing and the buyer's offer, that was taken into consideration when the sale was negotiated. That's part of why this home is being sold at the price it's being sold at, is because it does come with this easement and any restrictions that might be imposed by local designation. So I just want to make the council aware that that we've considered that. Thank you.
Further, or any questions for Mr. Kurth?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Councilwoman Cutler.
I just wanted to clarify, 2 weeks ago, we received a purchase agreement that was from Passarin LLC. Are you the owner of Passarin LLC, or are you a different buyer?
This is a different buyer. I told you they backed out.
Mr. Libator, this is for Mr. Kurth, please.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify for the meeting. Could you clarify for me, are you the purchaser on the purchase agreement we received 2 weeks ago for consideration? Not that we're considering the purchase agreement, but, or are you is this a new agreement?
Mr. Kurth.
I'm sorry, there may be a misunderstanding. I am not the buyer. I am a PEP member and volunteer who put time into repairing the house in preparation for the sale. I was merely expressing a point of view.
Oh, okay, that's my misunderstanding then. So is there the buyer, the new buyer, is that person joining us this evening?
Mm-hmm.
yes, this is Sean Herzog, the new prospective buyer.
So we will move for Mr. Kurth unless there's any other questions from Mr. Kurth. Mr. Herzog.
Yes, my question was, with the local designation, what other restrictions are there? And I got a packet of papers emailed to me today that I read through for what do you call it, a national designation? Yeah. So what additional restrictions are there?
Well, Mr. Herzog, you're welcome to make a statement right now. The council can ask any questions of him if they'd like. Anybody?
Well, I have a question. You're asking, you've received the packet for historic designation nationally, but you have not received a packet showing all the local designation requirements in terms of COAs, et cetera. You've not received that?
I don't think so, but
I just want to be sure that there's an understanding, because I have served on historic downtown designations and I've worked with code enforcement, and I know that I don't have the list in front of me, but I want to make sure that a new buyer understands what comes with being locally designated. There are many members of historic preservation who have homes, historic homes, that do not locally designate.
Mr. Herzog, any rebuttal?
You were aware that there was.
Mr. Libator, if you would like to speak for him, that's fine.
All right, so what he has with him is the landmarks designation. He doesn't have the local designation that his agent had. He only has the printout of the landmarks with him. And so he was discussing with me, we were at the, at City Hall, and then we saw the notice and drove here to my office, and we're going over it. So he just was wondering, because he hadn't been able to read through every page of that, if there was anything that was beyond the main three concerns, which we talked about with the landmarks and the local, and that was the exterior restrictions that he knows of, that he cannot tear the building down, and that he cannot resell it without the first right of refusal, which I believe goes through the landmarks designation, not the local designation. But so he was just asking if what the holdup is that there are some more things besides those three things that could impact his resale of it, and that's what he's looking for the answer for.
Further discussion with Mr. Herzog from the council, Ms. Cutler?
Well, again, that just reiterates our question from the last meeting, to make sure that he is aware of what local designation means, because the landmark designation and the historic national designation has specific things that it sounds like he's well aware of, which is wonderful. But if we are going to prove this local designation, and then he gets the packet or tries to make repairs or make changes or adjustments, and then is in a situation where he didn't expect to be, I don't want to be held responsible for that decision.
Further questions from Mr. Herzog?
Mayor Dermody.
Hold on, Mr. Alt. Further questions for Mr. Herzog?
Well, I do. Mr. Herzog, I just pulled up a list of what I believe is accurate in terms of some of the rules regarding historical designation locally. And there's certainly things that will affect what you can and can't do. Are you comfortable with this being approved and then buying it?
I can't answer that without knowing what the restrictions are, if there's any additional from what I already know about.
I can add real quick, if you go to the City of LaPorte website, which was recently redone, if you go to the historic district page, it has the information necessary for you to look at the residential guidelines. It's a 52-page document that outlines the historic district design guidelines.
Could we possibly?
If I could for a moment, if this is denied tonight, can it be brought back?
Well, I guess there's a couple, and I think I understand what you're getting at. It could either be tabled, or it could be denied, or it could be acted upon tonight. So that's your three options there. If it was denied, Mayor, I think you would have to go through the entire process again. If you table it, you could just table it for a second reading at the next meeting, or you could approve it.
Thank you.
That's actually what I was gonna ask. If we could
We've
table
got
it.
another public comment, Mr. Alt. Robert Alt, please state your name and address. Mr. Alt, I believe you're muted. There you go.
1528 Michigan Avenue. My name is Robert Alt. I'm the president of the HPC. And following the designation requirements that are currently on the guidelines for the city of LaPorte, the House met those requirements. And everything that was presented to us was correct. And that is why it was unanimously approved for the local designation.
Questions for Mr. Alt?
I don't have any questions, but I will say, personally, I'm in favor of tabling it just because, I mean, it seems pretty clear the buyer is ill-informed regarding the local regulations on it, and you know, I'm in favor of designating it, but it doesn't seem right to me to designate it knowing that Mr. Herzog is, you know, nearly to the finish line on purchasing it, but is unaware of all of these rules. I would feel better about it, you know, if he was comfortable with everything.
Mr. Frankie, you made a motion, Councilwoman West seconded it. Would you like to remove that motion?
I would.
Mr. Otis, you take a roll call vote.
Correct.
So do I have a second to Mr. Frankie's motion to remove that?
Second.
To table.
To table, I have a motion and a second. Clerk Treasurer Parthun, roll call.
Councilwoman Cutler.
Aye.
Councilwoman West.
Aye.
Councilwoman Konechny.
Aye.
Councilman Frankie.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Aye.
Councilman Vincent.
Aye.
Councilman Galloway.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passes 7-0 to table it. And all I'm gonna say is, and again, this is a council vote, I'm not sure why we are so excited to lower standards on a house in downtown Indiana Avenue that has been nothing but a problem, and I appreciate PEP's work on it, but it has been a shell of a property. Code enforcement has had issues. There are animals running in and out of there. And again, we are making strides to move LaPorte forward, but this shell of a property, I think, again, this has been the problem of the past and why we would want to continue to put a home, historical home, and this is what the public would see. This is what visitors would see when all we get are complaints about that home, for my 2 cents. So I hope you'll keep that in mind. Mr. Otis, is it possible, because the HPC is also putting in new standards, to move this back for HPC approval with their new standards? Or is it at the council level?
Well, it's still at the council because it was tabled. So,
Okay.
yep. And I have just emailed Mr. Libertor the historic preservation rules so he can provide those to the buyer, or the link to that, which the new website has all the information.
Okay.
Excuse me. I would just like to get it on record. I sent those guidelines to Mr. Libertor over a week ago.
Could you, Ms. Rosenbaum, it's not public comment. So we have tabled this for the next meeting and we will move from there. So
The buyer'd like to know when the next meeting is.
Mr. Libertor, we are going to move to the next meeting agenda item. Ms. Parthun, when is the next meeting for Mr. Libertor?
February 7th.
February 7th is the date.
That'll
That's
be
it,
the next one. Councilwoman Konechny, introduction of an ordinance.
Yes, Your Honor, I move to introduce an ordinance read for the first time in its entirety.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, Clerk Treasurer Parthun.
Councilwoman Cutler.
Aye.
Councilwoman West.
Aye.
Councilwoman Konechny.
Aye.
Councilman Frankie.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Aye.
Councilman Vincent.
Aye.
Councilman Galloway.
Aye.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Konechny.
An ordinance creating section 2-103 in chapter 2 of the LaPorte Municipal Code, establishing a commission on sustainability. Whereas managing our natural resources, including water and energy, in a sustainable manner is essential for the health and well-being of all people and future generations. And whereas sustainable development benefits a city economically, socially, and environmentally. And whereas the city will take a proactive position to seize incremental opportunities to transition towards sustainability instead of being forced to make a rapid transition when all other options finally run out. And whereas with assistance, businesses, community leaders, and neighbors can partner to improve the environmental quality of our community, to work together to create a clean and safe place to live and work for our current and future generations. And whereas sustainability involves collaboration with multiple agencies, city departments, commission, and boards, and thus a commission on sustainability would serve to coordinate initiatives, educate the public, and get citizens involved. Now, therefore, be it, and it is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte, Indiana, as follows. Section 1. Section 2-103 shall be created in Chapter 2 of the City of LaPorte Municipal Code and shall read as follows. Section 2-103, Commission on Sustainability. Name, purpose, and intent. There is hereby established a Commission on Sustainability. The purpose of this commission is to 1, to seek development strategies and innovations to promote environmental and economic health and prosperity within the city while reducing its use of non-renewable natural resources and production of waste. And 2, to promote the conservation of energy and natural resources while improving the livability and economic well-being of the City of LaPorte and its inhabitants. Membership. The commission shall consist of 6 members to be appointed by the mayor with the advice and consent of the city council within the next 60 days from the passage of this ordinance. The city council will appoint 1 member as a liaison to the commission. No more than one of the appointments may be citizens who live outside the city limits of LaPorte. Qualifications. Sustainability is an interdisciplinary concept, and such, the commission's membership shall reflect environmental, social, and economic perspectives uniformed by the common interest of sustainability. The commission shall draw its members from industry, business, academia, non-for-profits, and the city commissions and boards with similar goals. Staffing. The city sustainability program manager shall serve as a staff liaison to the commission. The liaison will research funding opportunities for sustainable development and identify best practices. City department heads will serve as advisors to the 6-member commission. Terms. Of the 6 members appointed, 1 shall be appointed for 1 year, 2 for 2 years, and 2 for 3 years. Therefore, each appointment shall be for a term of 2 years. Each appointment shall be for a term of 2 years. If a member dies or resigns, his or her successor shall be appointed to serve the unexpired period of the term to which his or her predecessor has been appointed. The mayor may remove commission members for cause, which is a legitimate justified reason to legal misconduct, but for no other reason. The commission shall elect from its membership at its first meeting and annually thereafter a chairman, vice chairman, and secretary. A majority of the appointed members shall be in attendance to constitute a quorum. Compensation. All members shall serve without compensation. Expenses. The expenses for carrying on the commission's activities shall be paid out of the funds in the city treasury. Meetings. The commission shall convene no less frequently than once a month unless deemed unnecessary by the chairperson with written agreement by a majority of the members of the commission. The commission may meet more often, but should the demand necessitate. The commission shall establish a location and designate a time for monthly meetings. Powers and duties. The commission shall have the following powers and duties. Number 1, coordinate ongoing and propose and promote new sustainability initiatives among residents, businesses, industry, non-governmental agencies, and educational organizations through education and outreach programs. Number 2, advise and provide support to the city council and city boards and commissions on opportunities to infuse sustainability into projects and programs. Number 3, lead, encourage, enable, and empower the citizens, visitors, and people who work in LaPorte to live in a sustainable manner. Number 4, provide in cooperation with other city boards and commissions an annual sustainability assessment based on indicators to the city council. Number 5, consult and cooperate with other agencies, boards, and commissions with interested persons or groups on initiatives and programs that advance economically and environmentally sustainable local practices. Number 6, research and apply for grants and perform fundraising activities for the purpose of carrying out and promoting any sustainability initiatives in coordination with the city's sustainability program manager. Section 2, the Tree Commission is hereby dissolved and the Commission on Sustainability will now assume the responsibilities and duties of the Tree Commission as outlined in Ordinance number 5-2009, 3-2-09, Ordinance number 6-2021, 2-16-2. Section 3, all ordinance in conflict shall be repealed. Section 4, the ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage, approval by the mayor, and publications as required by law. End of ordinance.
We do have our sustainability engineer, Sarah Nimitz. Sarah, if you don't mind giving us the layman's term version of this.
Sure. Hi, good evening. Thank you guys for being here. I have been working with the Tree Commission pretty extensively since I've been here. And the Sustainability Commission just feels like a really good opportunity to expand on their limited scope and responsibility. Initially, this kind of came about in conversation as I wish we could be doing more work on an ecosystem level versus just trees. So there's a lot more to, green infrastructure and green areas throughout the city than trees. There's a lot more than just trees. And we needed a forum and a commission and some dedicated people who were willing to look at things with that bigger lens. So that was the beginning of these conversations. I spent some time last year working on our city-wide greenhouse gas emissions inventory, and it really revealed some good indicators and some valuable data that will help guide what the commission works on in terms of reducing the citywide greenhouse gas emissions. And a really good way to do that is through green spaces and natural resources. So it's important that we look at this as an expansion on the good work that the Tree Commission has already accomplished and done. We'll still be embracing and doing a ton of tree work. We've got a lot of plantings down the pike. We've got another season of tree crew coming up. So this commission is meant to sort of be a support system for larger scale, high quality natural resources in our city. It's a really positive direction in reducing our carbon output. I am very excited about this. If there are questions, I'm happy to answer. I know this is a lot, but we worked really hard on this, and we've collected and used a lot of data to realize what our needs are up to this point.
Questions for Ms. Nimitz? Sarah, could you share your information, email and phone, office number for the public and for the council members?
Sure. My name is Sarah Nimitz, SNIMETZ at cityoflaportein.gov. Office is 219-362-2327.
This could be special for the future of our community. I'd highly encourage anybody that has questions, reach out to Sarah and get your answers taken care of there. Further discussion by the council.
Good work.
Other business. Anybody from the council have other business? I've got a couple notes. Councilwoman Ficus.
You're muted, Carol.
Can I make a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
No.
Through a roll call vote, yes. Roll call vote, Clerk Treasurer Parthun.
Councilwoman Cutler.
Aye.
Councilwoman West.
Aye.
Councilwoman Konechny.
Aye.
Councilman Frankie.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Aye.
Councilman Vincent.
Aye.
Councilman Galloway.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion passes 7-0. Other council business before my 2 points. Councilwoman West.
I guess it's really not business, but it's been really exciting watching the ice rink go up out my front window. So I'm really excited about this. So thank you.
And Mark Schreiber has done a great job. Check the park department website for all the information. It will begin this Friday, and we're certainly excited about that as well. There are other illnesses in addition to COVID, and as you can hear from many of us, we're all working through that. So the Board of Works meeting tomorrow will be Zoom as well at 9 a.m. And then next Monday, the 25th, and it looks like it'll have to be a Zoom meeting. Myself and fire, police, public safety, we will be presenting the public safety lit information to the county council. This is the local income tax that has been provided by the State General Assembly. I'd like to remind everybody that due to property tax caps, which are good for homeowners, County of LaPorte, between cities, schools, everybody, we give $28 million back to homeowners in property tax relief. We lose 25% of our budget because that goes back to property tax relief. We are at a crossroads for public safety to keep our community safe, not only in LaPorte, not only at the county, not in Michigan City, but everywhere around. To me, public safety, life and death is more important than talking about this lit tax that 71 of 92 counties have already passed in the state of Indiana. We have one of the lowest income taxes across any of the counties. The state average is 1.76%. We're at 0.90. I know I want our public safety to not have to use bicycle helmets when they run into high risk warrant situations. We don't have equipment. We have cars, some cars that are still have foam coming through it because we do not have the funding. The jail, you've heard from Sheriff Boyd, you've heard from EMS that when 3 ambulances are out in the city of LaPorte, if something else happens, they have to send an ambulance from Michigan City. You've seen where Michigan City is struggling keeping officers. The time is now. We were all elected not to go downstate and ask for more money and have the state tell us what makes LaPorte County special when 71 of the 92 counties have been able to do this and pass a lit. And so I think we have to look at this. I wish we could vote for it on our own, but it is the county council. We've met with every county council member. They know the support is there for them if they vote for it. But I think you'll see a presentation on Monday, and then also hopefully a presentation publicly for the community that we've already seen is starting to rally around. So I'll be glad to answer any questions regarding the public safety lit. Roger, were you going to say something regarding that public safety lit?
No, I'm back it. We need it. We have to move forward. We have to have it. It doesn't cost that much. It's for public safety. And if anybody's worried about getting elected again because they voted for it, and they shouldn't have got elected right off the bat anyway, because they're not doing their job.
We were all elected to vote and make the difficult decisions. That's why we ran for office, and I couldn't have said it better, Roger. So any further questions?
I got one more.
Yes, sir.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Cutler.
Aye.
Councilwoman West.
Aye.
Councilwoman Konechny.
Aye.
Councilman Frankie.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Aye.
Councilman Vincent.
Aye.
Councilman Galloway.
Aye.
Thank you.
We are adjourned. Have a great night. Get healthy, everybody.